Postscript from Mrs. McElroy. Editor note. The following message was enclosed in a separate envelope marked Read Me Last, together with the original letter, the transcripts, and the other notes of explanation I received in the envelope from Mrs. McElroy. This is what the message said. The other documents in this envelope are the end of the story, as far as what happened back in 1947. However, several months after the government got me settled at my final relocation destination, I continued my communication with Errol on a regular basis. It has been almost exactly 40 years since the crash at Roswell. Since then, it has become obvious to me that I have been able to communicate telepathically with Errol for one reason. I am one of the 3,000 members of the Lost Battalion. At this time, all the members of the Lost Battalion have been located on Earth as a result of the Domain Anunnaki mission and their use of the Tree of Life detection device. Through my communication with Errol, I was recovered some of my memory of lives I've spent on Earth over the past 8,000 years. Most of these memories are not especially important compared to the long backtrack of events, but it has been a necessary stepping stone to regaining my awareness and ability as an SB. I can also remember some dim patches of my life in the Domain Expeditionary Force. I was a nurse there too. For the most part, I've been a nurse over and over and over again, down through the ages. I stick with being a nurse because it is familiar to me, and I'm enjoying the work of helping people, as well as members of the race of biological beings in the domain, whose bodies look more like insects than mammals, especially their hands. Even dull bodies need some repair once in a while too. As I remember more about my past, I realized that the rest of my life is in the future. Eternity is not just in the past. Eternity is in the future. At this point, I'm still not able to fully return to the domain. I'm sentenced to internal imprisonment, like all other species in the living hell called Earth, until we can disable the autopilot for screens. Because I won't keep my biological body much longer now, I am intensely aware that very soon I will be recycled through the amnesia process of the old empire and stuck back into another baby body to start all over again without any memory of what went before. As you know, members of the Domain Expeditionary Force have been working to solve this problem for thousands of years. Arrow says that even though the Domain has located all of the lost battalion officers and crew, the success of freeing them depends on the SB who are already on Earth. The Domain Central Command cannot authorize any personnel or resources at this time to conduct a rescue mission. This is not the primary mission of the Domain Expeditionary Force in this galaxy. So, if SB on Earth are going to escape from this prison, it will have to be an inside job, so to speak. The inmates will have to figure out how to get themselves out. Various methods of recovering the memory and ability of SBs have been developed over the past 10,000 years on Earth, but now have proven to be consistently effective so far. Error mentioned that the most significant breakthrough was made by Gautama Siddhartha about 2,500 years ago. However, the original teachings and techniques taught by the Buddha have been altered or lost over the millennia since then. The practical techniques of this philosophy were provided into robotic religions, rituals by priests as a self-serving instrument of control or slavery. Guys, don't worry, I know this method. I know, and I can speak it them in my song. In my song, Electronic Barrier. I remember it. I remember, really. Okay. Go out of the dark, out in the dark, stop us if in a dream. Meditate after death. There are answers in your mind. Stop the floor of creation. There is only distraction around you. Inhale and exhale, don't be afraid. And being careful, you are fleeting particle. Unelusive you need. You're electronic wave without frequency at the sense. Without frequency at the sense. So you understand this. I know. You not frequency, your electronic wave, not frequency. Sit in this space and you must don't have thoughts. If you had thoughts, activate a trap and you go in your birth, new relocation in Earth. If you don't have thoughts, you don't return in Earth and escape this prison. Okay, we continue. However, another major advance occurred recently. An acquaintance of the command officer of the Domain Expeditionary Force space station in NSB, who had once been an important engineer and officer in the Old Empire space fleet. He became an untouchable himself about 10,000 years ago and was sent to Earth for leading a mutiny against the oppressive regime of the Old Empire. The engineer was trained in advanced scientific improvisation theory thousands of years ago. This man has applied this expertise to helping the domain solve the apparently unsolvable problem of rescuing the members of the Lost Battalion as well as there is based on Earth. Careful observation and experimental analysis of the mechanics of memory in SB by him and his wife who assisted him led to the realization that SB can recover from amnesia and also regain lost abilities. Together they discovered and developed effective methods that they used to rehabilitate their own memories. They eventually covered their methods so that others can safely be trained to update them to themselves and others without detection by the Old Empire thought control operations. Okay, guys, they know about me. I know it. I know it. The Old Empire know about me. Against. We here we go. Um, the research also revealed that bees can occupy and operate more than one body at the same time. A fact that previously was thought to be uniquely limited to officers of the domain. One example of this fact in that the engineer in a previous lifetime on Earth was Suleiman the Magnificent, footnote 241. His assistant was a harem girl who rose up from slavery to become his wife and ruled the Ottoman Empire with him. Footnote 242. Simultaneously, she inhabited another body and ruled her own empire as Queen Elizabeth. Footnote 243. As the Queen of England, she never married because she was already married to the Sultan of the Ottoman Empire. In a later life, she was incarnated as Sisharaz. Footnote 244. During his life as Rut, she was again a princess, this time from Poland. Footnote 245. As such, she pursued routes unsuccessfully towards the end of his life. However, in the next incarnation, they meet again. Were married, had a family, and again worked together successfully all of their lives. Several other notable examples of this phenomena were observed. For example, the process of refining steel was invented by the same SB who inhabited two bodies simultaneously. One was named Kelly, footnote 246, who lived in Kentucky, and the other was man named Bessemer, footnote 247, who lived in England. They both conceived the same process at the same time. Another example is Alexander Graham Bell, footnote 248, the inventor of the telephone, which was invented by several others at the same time, including Elisha Gray, footnote 249. The telephone was conceived concurrently in several locations around the world all at once. This was a single beam of such tremendous energy and ability that he was able to operate several bodies in several different locations while conducting complex research work. Thanks to these revelations, the domain have been able to return some office bees on the Lost Battalion to active duty on a limited, part-time basis. For example, two young girls who occupy biological bodies on Earth are now, at the same time, working as active members of the Domain Expeditionary Force on the Asteroid Space Station as operator of a communication switchboard. These operators relay messages between the Domain Expeditionary Force and the Domain Command headquarters. Recently, I myself have been able to resume some of my own duties for the Domain Expeditionary Force while continuing to live on Earth. This is not an easy task, however, and can only be done while my biological body is sleeping. It makes me very happy to know that we may not have to stay on Earth forever. There is hope of escape, not just for the Lost Battalion, but many others SB on Earth. However, all SBs could be helped to become more aware of the actual situation on Earth through the information in this envelope. This is why I sent these letters and transcripts to you. I want you to get these documents published. I want SBs on Earth to have a chance to find out what is really happening on Earth. Most people will not believe any of it, I'm sure. It seems too incredible. No reasonable person would ever believe a word of it. However, it only seems incredible to Anne Isby, whose memory has been erased and replaced with false information. Inside the electronically controlled illusion of a prison planet, we must not allow the apparent incredibility of our situation to prevent us to confronting the reality of it. Frankly, reasons have nothing to do with the reality. There are no reasons. Things are what they are. If we don't face the facts of our situation, we're going to stay under the thumb of the old empire forever. The biggest weapon the old empire has left now is our ignorance of what they are going to all the SBs on Earth. Disbelief and secrecy are the most effective weapons they have. The government agencies that classified the enclosed transcripts as top secret are run by SBs who are nothing more than mindless automatons, carefully ordered about through hypnotic commands given by the old empire prison operators. They are the unknowing slaves of unseen slave masters, and all the more enslaved by the willingness to be slaves. Most of them is based on Earth are good, honest, able beings, artists, managers, geniuses, free thinkers, and revolutionaries who have harmed no one, really. They are no threat to anyone, except to the criminals who have imprisoned them. They must find out about their own empire, amnesia and hypnosis operation. They must remember their own past lives. The only way this will ever happen is to communicate, coordinate, and fight back. We have to tell other people, and they have to discuss it openly with each other. Communication is the only effective weapon against secrecy and oppression. This is why I'm asking you to tell this story. Please share these transcripts with as many people as you can. If the people of Earth are taught what is really going on here, perhaps they will begin to remember who they are and where they came from. For now, we can begin our own release and rescue with words. We can be free again. We can be ourselves again. Perhaps I will meet you in person, with or without a body, somewhere in our eternal future. Good luck to all of you. Good luck to all of us. Matilda O'Donnell McElroy. End of Mrs. McElroy documents.